Welcome to another episode of the Rational Football League Show, the place where you come for your rational takes, not your hot takes. I'm Emmett Swarat. I'm here with my co-host, Brendyn Ford.
Yo, yo, yo.
You guys can find us on YouTube at the Rational Football League Show. We're also on Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok and Twitter as well. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the Jonathan Taylor news, our picks for offensive and defensive rookie of the year, other underpaid positions in the NFL besides running back. Why is there so much hate for mid-tier quarterbacks? And we're going to be breaking down some J.J. McCarthy highlights. So stick with us for the whole thing. It should be a fun ride. Let's get right into it, B. So breaking Jonathan Taylor news. He has requested a trade from the Indianapolis Colts after Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, made some comments that he did not take too well. I want to start off with just quickly getting your thoughts on it.
I mean, my one thought, bro, is, Jim, what are you doing? Does it go out there and pretty much roast your arguably best offensive asset? I mean, it's probably not even a fucking debate. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor is a beast, right? And to be like, listen, we did the whole CBA thing. You guys are doing this talk, what new contract stuff is not appropriate, blah, blah, blah. Bro, what are you doing? You're outing one of your best talents.
Yeah.
What?
It's kind of weird. It seems like there's been a weird thing with owners this offseason because we saw that with Jim Irsay, and then oh my gosh, what's his name? Jerry Jones made similar comments about Zach Martin that if he doesn't show up, there's going to be severe consequences and punishments. And it's like, what happened to things happen behind closed doors? Like that's the kind of thing you say to the player behind a closed door, not out to the public. I mean, keep things in house. What happened to respect for that? What's interesting to me about this is kind of as you scroll through Twitter and you see fans' takes, and even to a degree, the Indianapolis Colts take on this, I believe is what it is he's not worth paying. He's asking for a contract for $16 million, which just personally thinking, I think he's worth that. He's the engine of that offense. He's young, he's healthy, he's great. But he's not worth paying that. But if a team wants to trade for him from us, they better be willing to give us a haul. So he's not worth money, but he's worth a bunch of draft picks. How does that make any sense? Do people not hear the hypocrisy in that statement?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean,
that's my favorite part about all of this because it's like the biggest mindfuck ever, honestly. It is. Listen, we're not gonna pay you what you're probably worth, but we're gonna charge someone a premium based off what you're worth. What?
Yeah, you want to walk into a car dealership and say, hey, I want that new Ferrari, but I want it for 10 grand, not 80 grand you're selling it for. But if I turn around and sell it, I expect 150.
Yeah. What do you this isn't garage sale flipping where you buy something for a discount and then sell for more. To your point, what we said a couple weeks ago, these are people too. And he does a lot for that squad when he's healthy. And you have a young quarterback there. Don't you want one of the best running backs on your team to help out your young franchise future quarterback?
Yeah. I mean, and even just going into those numbers a little bit, as you just mentioned, he had over 1,800 yards in 2021, 1,800 yards in his sophomore season. And he had over 1,100 yards in his rookie year of 2020. He averaged 5.5 yards a carry in 2021. And he's only missed 7 games in his career so far. He missed 1, I believe, his rookie year, and he missed 6 games last year because of injury. Right. But out of a possible, what are we looking at here? 50 games, I think that is. Just quick math off the top of my head. He's missed 7. I mean, that's not a substantial number. He's clearly healthy for the majority of his career. He won Offensive Player of the Year in 2021, his rookie year. He won All-Pro. He was a Pro Bowl. I just really don't understand it. It was so funny to me too. Is again, I love seeing the fan response to this stuff. And at first, I started seeing the same thing that I always see with these running back players is that well, we can easily replace him, but we don't want him to go. But we can easily replace him. But let's just keep him for a couple more years. So it's if it's easy to replace, why keep him? Just get a new one. Again, every time we talk about this, it's always these contradictory statements that just baffle me about this. He's so easy to replace. Then why would any team ever trade? They just draft one every year in the 7th round.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry, bro. But I was going to say, it seems like JT's trapped right now too because Jim Irsay already came out and said that he's not getting traded. So if you're JT and JT's team, right, I'm okay, I'm not going to get paid what I feel like I am worth. I'm not going to get traded to a team to get the opportunity to get paid what I'm worth. So what else can I do? Sit out.
I know. And then to follow that up, my favorite thing about those statements too, and I'm sure fans are going to see this and think the same thing. Well, if he sits out, then it's going to hurt his value. He's going to suck because it hurt Le'Veon Bell. Like, do we not remember the full context of that situation? He left the Steelers where he had, Tony Brown and Ben Roethlisberger, a great offense, and went to Adam Gase in the Jets. Widely considered one of the worst head coaches in NFL history, one of the worst play callers in NFL history.
Yeah.
And we act like that's strictly just on Le'Veon Bell. I mean, should Lev Bell have stayed in Pittsburgh? Sure. But we act like that one example is the standard and the commonality of this. So any other player that ever sits out is going to automatically suck when they come back. But that we didn't consider that with Deshaun Watson. We didn't consider that with Calvin Ridley, who's now coming back for Jacksonville. It's only with running backs because there was one incidence of it happening that we consider that.
Right.
It's just
JT's 24.
Yeah,
Bell was not 24. I don't know how old he was, but he was not 24.
No, I think he was 27 or 28 at the time. But it's the same thing when people point to these bad contracts with running backs. Like, oh, well, Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley had arthritis in college. Like, he had early onset arthritis. No, he shouldn't have gotten that deal because he hadn't, a clear genetic
But he had some injury going on. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he had something from his genetics that just made that he wasn't going to have a long career. That doesn't mean that's the standard. Look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry got a big contract, and every year he's produced. Then if you look at Deebo Samuel, who got a big contract and had the worst year of his career, should we not pay receivers then?
Right.
Sorry, we're getting to the running back story again. Strictly just about Jonathan Taylor. If you're not going to pay him, trade him. And trade him for fair value. If a team offers a third and a fifth, trade him. That's fair value. He's not a Christian McCaffrey because I don't think he has the same, running ability. I think he was averaging, when I looked at the numbers, about 30 catches a year, which is good for a running back, but they're not, Christian McCaffrey numbers.
Right.
If you get good value for him and you're not going to pay him, just let him go. Move on from it, or let him play out this year and behind the scenes promise him, hey, JT, we're not going to franchise tag you. Play this last season for us, and we'll let you walk. Because we're not giving you that money, but I'm sure there's some team out there that would.
I think maybe Irsay just has too much of like an ego with them. Just come out on Twitter and say those things is wild. And then he tripled down on his thoughts too. Like there's no, I don't know.
Yeah,
he did not. I guess from that point,
playing, no one's gonna miss it. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like he tripled down.
Take his phone. Take his phone. And Jonathan Taylor's agents just take the phones away. Let them, it was kind of like, I was talking to her earlier in the week. Not every action requires an immediate reaction, right? Just because you see something, you don't immediately need to respond. Take your thoughts, work it through, write it down, and then look at it and go, you know what? Yeah, this is worth saying. Or, no, I need to clean that up. Yeah,
he didn't have to open his mouth to begin with. He didn't have to tweet anything. No. You know what I mean? And how do you think the rest of the locker room is impacted by this right now?
Yeah.
JT's a leader there, right?
Yep.
And then their owner is roasting this dude on social media, in front of the entire world. What do you think is happening behind closed doors with that team? And I don't know. I could just be blowing smoke where there's no smoke, but that's kind of my first thought,
you got a new head coach there who was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles last year, who featured predominantly the run game. How do you think he's thinking about all this right now? I thought I was coming here and getting a top 5 running back, and now you guys just put him in a position where he might sit out reasonably this year, and now we're running with who even is the running back too? Do we even know?
I can't even tell you because Hines left, and then poor Hines got hurt with the jet ski or something like that. Yeah, which sucks. I can't even. I'm gonna look up Coach roster real quick. I can't even tell you who's the backup running back.
Yeah, but can you imagine, whoever it is, can you imagine going from Jonathan Taylor to that? And especially when you have a rookie quarterback who has been noted as needing more, reps and some help around him to help him get developed. So I don't understand the thought process behind this. I don't understand the lack of maturity to sit and go, you have his number, text him. Hey, Jonathan, can you come see me in my office? I'd love to talk to you about this and about this whole situation and see if we can't come to a reasonable agreement. You're was he multi-billion-dollar owner?
Yeah.
You've ran businesses. You don't know how to handle this? Do you send a memo out to your entire staff at your other companies and go, hey, guys, Jeff thinks he deserves a raise. Fuck that guy, right?
Yeah.
No, pull Jeff into your office and say, hey, Jeff, why do you think what's going on here? What's happening with this?
This whole,
I,
case should be put in a business textbook
oh,
underneath
fuck
like
it.
the section called "How to Ruin Workplace Relationships."
Yeah, no.
Maybe don't roast your employees
Yeah.
on like Twitter.
What
Like,
business ethics, what not to do.
what not to do. And the Colts, they have Zach Moss and Deion
Uh,
Jackson behind
oh, yeah.
Jonathan
I'm sure
Taylor.
they can replace Jonathan Taylor's production. I feel like we're going to really see this season how much, all this shit people talk about, running backs being replaceable. I think we're really going to get a great example this year on how replaceable running backs are not. So,
dude, just pay the man. Come on,
I
dude.
know. Like, just understand, hey, you know what? This is an underpaid position. Hey, maybe we won't pay you the 16, but let's meet in the middle. We'll call it, not in the middle, but we'll call it 15, with incentives on if you get your pass receiving abilities up, right? We'll give a $2 million incentive if you get 50 catches this year and 800 yards, right? Something to that kind of effect. That will get you to 17. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems completely reasonable. But again, it's something that needs to happen behind closed doors. I mean, how do you come back from this relationship now?
Give him money.
Well, money does solve a lot of things.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I think it all comes back to if you're not gonna pay him, trade him and trade him for something fair. I think people when they're talking about this stuff really need to think about their contradictory statements of he's not worth paying, but he's worth a lot in trade compensation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we kind of covered all the topics we want to hit on that one. Moving on here. Should we just mail Bijan Robinson the Offensive Player of the Year award? He is the betting odd favorite on every website that I believe you looked up to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. We don't think he'll be taking the award home. Come when do they do it? January, I believe is when they have the award ceremony.
Yeah, I think it's January.
Yeah. We don't think he'll be the one taking that award home.
Dun dun dun.
So, dun dun dun. So actually, I pulled out my three guys. So I think it comes into the year and it's like, oh, we got this guy, and this guy, and we think this guy's going to do it. So we did that, and we came up with Bryce Young, actually, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jackson Smith,
and Njigba. JSN, the king of Ohio State.
I'm sorry, I'm so used to call him JSN. Njigba. I will work on it. I promise. I'll go cry in the bathroom and say it 50 times in the mirror until I get it right.
It's a tongue twister. You're good, bro.
It's a tongue. Yeah. JSN sounds so much better anyway. So
it does.
You get all those names in there.
It's smooth.
And I actually put the winner I had as Bryce Young, which probably shouldn't surprise a whole lot of people. If you're a betting person, I think he's in second place in the odds. Go place that bet and win a little bit of money. First of all, the most obvious reason he should win the award. He's a quarterback. As we've talked about, and everyone's talked about at length, this is a quarterback-driven league. Quarterbacks get all the awards. Quarterbacks win MVP, and then usually who actually was the best offensive player wins, Offensive Player of the Year. And he's coming into the year. I think the Panthers have already stated that he's going to be QB1. He's getting the reps right now with the first team. He's looked great. He's going to be a starter going into the season. So barring any injuries, he should get all the reps. And the Panthers actually have decent weapons around him. They have Adam Thielen, they have DJ Chark, they have Miles Sanders, they have Hayden Hurst. Again, those aren't star names necessarily, but those are good names. Those are good players. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's sitting here playing with a bunch of dudes off the street that you've never heard of before in your life. So that should only help his case even more. He's going to put up good numbers. He's going to put up not 5,000 yards, but maybe if he puts up 3,000, he can walk home with the award pretty easily. But I feel like at the end of the year, we're going to be having this conversation of, well, yeah, it's going to Young, but it should go to Gibbs because he's going to be running back one there for Detroit. He's not going to have any competition. He can catch the ball in the backfield really well. He can run routes well. He can also, he's great contact balance and vision. We'll be making the arguments, it should be going to him or it should be going to JSN because look, he had 60 catches and 800 yards and 5 touchdowns with DK Metcalf and blah, blah, blah. But we already know where it's going to go. It's going to go to Bryce Young because he's the quarterback. So,
true.
What are your thoughts?
So I can give you 3 names if that's cool because we kind of have like the similar list here. Mm-hmm. But I was checking on FanDuel, and there is an intriguing name there that has plus 3,000 odds, and I feel like maybe it's just because of my Twitter timeline, it's maybe I like a few tweets here and there, keep showing me stuff, and fans keep getting hyped about them. So it could be biased. I don't know. But give me your thoughts on this name, Zay Flowers. Yay or nay? As a case, might not win it, but maybe has a case to be in the conversation for it.
Maybe as a case. I mean, maybe because of injuries, but if everyone stays healthy, I can't see it because you still have OBJ there. You still have Rashad Bateman, who they're expecting big things from this year, and you have Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Now, they have a new offensive coordinator, so their pass game should be increasing this year. They should see Lamar Jackson throwing the ball around a lot more. But I wonder how much of those are really just going to go to Mark Andrews or to OBJ or, to Bateman. Now, again, if we see injuries, if, OBJ starts off slow because he did take a year off last year, or we see Bateman just really not coming on like we're, as the team's kind of expecting. Now, then I do see a void there that he can absolutely fill, put up some numbers, and then be in consideration for the award. Now, if he actually takes it home, I would be very surprised. Do we know when the last time a receiver won Offensive Rookie of the Year was?
Was it Jamar Chase?
It might be.
Hold on,
we'll look that up real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Just seeing some of our pre-data research live on in air.
Live on in air. This is what we do.
This is what we do. We say wild shit, look it up, and go, nope, we're not crazy.
Yeah, like, no, or we go, we are fucking crazy.
Oh, nope, our memories aren't working.
Bro, I'm fucking stupid. Last year, Wilson, the Jets.
Oh, my God, that's right.
Yeah. But then before that, it was Chase.
So, okay, so there's some frequency there. So, okay. Can you see it live in air? I don't remember all that. We pull it up and go, actually, there's two of the late last point, though,
there's only been 3 over the past 10 seasons. Odell Beckham Jr. won it back in 2014.
Yes, the third. Wow, that's kind of surprising, actually. Justin, Justin Jefferson, didn't he come in with Jamar Chase? Were they in the same draft?
Yes. No. Year after. I think he was 2020. Justin Herbert won in 2020.
I'm surprised because I think he put 1,400 yards as a rookie.
He did, or 12.
Yeah, that's surprising.
People are like, these guys have no clue what they're fucking talking about. And no, it's sometimes
they're like, wow, you guys really
true.
There's a lot of 32 teams is a lot of teams to constantly follow up with, right? If you want to ask us about any football happened in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we got you locked in. All right, stuff that we hit our head a lot playing football. Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me what stuff that happened last year. Okay, that's too easy to know.
Last
okay,
year, that was like 7 months ago. How do you remember anything from that long ago?
Fuck, dude. But yeah, so yeah, Wilson. This is round out. Wilson won in 2022. Chase won in 2021. Herbert won in 2020. Murray won in 2019.
So Chase won in 2020. You said.
Herbert was 2021. Herbert was 2020.
Well, I mean, if you look at it honestly, if we look at all factors considered here, last year Wilson won it it was considered a weak quarterback draft. If I remember that correctly, right? 2022 was a weaker quarterback draft. I think that was the Malik Willis one.
Yeah, I think Pickett too, right? No.
Yeah, I think it was Pickett and Willis. There's only one quarterback in the first round taken.
Yeah.
And then 2021, at the initial time, the start, was also a weaker quarterback draft. Lawrence took off last year, but he had Urban Meyer's first year and did not perform. Lance sat. Wilson wasn't good. Mac Jones was a Pro Bowl, but alternative, I think. But again, I think that Jamar Chase, so it seems like the only avenue for a receiver to win is if there's a weak quarterback draft. This, I don't think, will be a weak quarterback draft. I think Bryce Young this year should play well enough to beat out all the receivers. But if he struggles, if he gets hurt, because I know there's some potential durability concerns with his height, I think they're a little unfounded. He's played his whole life at that height, so I don't know why all of a sudden he'd be injury prone now. And it wasn't like he went to some Southern Mississippi college. He went to Alabama. So he was playing the SEC, getting hit, roll tide. And I think his body will hold up, should be fine. But if he gets hurt, then I can definitely see Zay Jones potentially sliding his way in there.
Maybe, but that's my $5 bet. I'm fine.
That's your $5.
It's plus $3,000 odds. That's like let's pull $5 bill there. See what happens. But yeah.
Where's the confidence in your dark horse? I want $500 on that bet. Like, come on,
Listen, Emmett, that's how you lose lots of money. Trust me, I learned that lesson.
That's Twitter talk. That's how you become a millionaire.
That's Twitter talk. Never fully trust your dark horse, okay?
Listen, if you ain't going to a full confident, you ain't going at all. So we're supposed to talk about defensive player of the year in this segment as well. I think that was a little bit more of a toss-up. I think there's a lot of great defensive talent coming into the league this year. I had it in between Christian Gonzalez, Will Anderson, and Jalen Carter. I know we did make a video earlier on talking about how we had concerns about Jalen Carter being a bust. I still do have those concerns, but I saw a couple stories about how he's tearing it up at Eagles camp. He's beating the first string O-line one-handed.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe he's figured it out. Maybe he's at a level of competition where he feels he needs to try now, and he really turns it on and we see something special.
Yep.
But who knows? People put out the stories all the time. This guy looks greater than he's ever had before. This guy made one-handed catch and then goes on to never do anything for the team all year. I have my winner as Christian Gonzalez. I think, to me, he seems like the really obvious choice because he was a top 5 talent. He was projected to go in the top 5. He fell all the way to the Patriots at 17. So he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder immediately. He's got Bill Belichick as his coach, and he's a great talent developer in the DB room. I mean, think of all the great DBs New England's had since he's been there. Mm-hmm. Too many to even list off. Latest one obviously being Stephon Gilmore, Darius,
Asante Samuel Jr. from
Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah.
Ty Law, Mark. Who's the one right now? Marcus. Oh my gosh! Out of University of Houston, he's their nickel or slot corner. Also their returner, Marcus Jones Jr. I'm thinking I'm messing up the name, but he's a name to watch out. He's really good. He's very talented. So he's going to one of the best developers of DB talent in the league. He's already been impressing in camp early. And again, just like Bryce Young, he should have this advantage of where he is a starter early. Being that starter early gets you such a leg up in the competition because people get, the evaluators get to see more of you rather than like, oh, well, he only played 5 games at the end of the year, so we can't really, you have that full season on your belt. You don't have that disadvantage of, or that negative thing that they can throw at you.
Yeah.
And I know I was looking up a little bit just to make sure because I want to verify that he was considered a top 5 talent going to the draft. And a few sites actually had his draft comp as Patrick Surtain the second.
Yeah, he was definitely top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got the talent, he's got the technique, and he's only going to get better under Belichick. Again, I think at the end of the year he can. We will be considering talking about him like we do. The Sauce Gardners, the Patrick Surtains. He'll be in the top 15 conversation. I think it's an absolute steal as much as a first-round pick can be a steal, in this draft. And I think he'll be the winner of the defensive player or defensive rookie of the year.
This is a side tangent, but did we hear anything why he slipped at all?
I never heard up about that.
That's so weird, man, because he was supposed to be the top corner taken, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden when the Patriots picked like the late 17th?
17.
Ah, man, we never heard anything about that. I don't think,
No, we can look it up after and then, do an edit on it if we need to. But yeah, no, I never heard any follow up. There was never an explanation of, he failed the drug test or something. I mean, he just dropped. I think there's so much other talent that people want to go in a different direction. So
interesting. Give me Will Anderson, dude. I mean, it's kind of like cheesy pick, I guess. I mean, he's the favorite on FanDuel right now. I have no clear-cut reason other than I like him. I think he'll step in. They won, rush the passer, dude. I mean, I don't know. He can help out with like the run game too, I guess. But I have no other really clear-cut reason other than I just like him.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the breakdown. Love that one.
Right.
Dude's a beast. I know they're switching him from outside backer to full-time defensive end, so he's got that transition. I did see a statement that he gets upset whenever they try to move him. He's like, no, this is where I want to be. I want every rep. Don't even take me out. So that's always things you love to see from a guy making a transition in the NFL. As much of a big transition outside backer to defensive end really is.
Yeah. And he was taught well, Bama, for some reason he kind of got if I remember correctly, there was some sort of I don't know if slander is the right term, but for some reason, his draft stock was taking a hit during the time before the draft. So maybe it was kind of those smoke screen stuff, like people just planting stuff out there to hurt his stock. Obviously, it didn't really hurt him because he went third.
3.
Yeah,
Yep.
third.
Houston.
So, but there's kind of like some funny stuff being said about him. I was like, come on, guys. He's been killing it since his sophomore year at Bama. Like, come on, don't overthink this dude. But yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I think that's very simple, clean cut. Yeah, he should be good. Like the Aiden Hutchinson from last year, just a guy that dominated. They did well in college. You expect it, but it is really crazy how the college, especially for defensive end game, does translate well to the NFL, because as long as you're building your repertoire and learning those pass moves, they translate. You know, knowing that instinct to, you know, as soon as O lineman shoots his hand, scissors, or like if you can like ghost rush, you know, fake, you know, kind of like a little fake to dip.
Yeah.
As long as you learn those moves and techniques and the timing of it, it translates so well to the NFL. It's just about learning which ones still work and when to use them, and like setting up a better plan for like what sets up what move. Once you get that down, it's a much easier game than like say corner or you know, quarterback kind of a thing. All right, perfect. So we got our picks in. We'll check back in on this video in January and see where we were right, where we were wrong. Are we stupid? Do we think we know more than we actually do?
I know for a fact I am stupid.
You can't say that to the people. You gotta lie to them. Make them believe.
It's all about honesty here. I'm building trust.
No, you just gotta say something confidently and hope everyone doesn't question you about it.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. You should definitely be honest about everything. All right, perfect. So running backs are unpaid in the NFL, but what if we told you they are not even the most underpaid position in the NFL? I think that title for us clearly goes to centers. But some other positions that we do want to talk about that are underpaid: centers, tight ends, and safeties. If you had to guess right now, B, what do you think the highest paid center in the NFL is?
Highest paid center. So, you know, center is like the brain of like the O-line. I mean, you gotta be giving them money, right? So I would say
they set the checks, they set the, you know, they determine, hey, we're in a bear front, we're in a, you know, we're at 4-4, whatever the, you know, the line front is. They're checking for blitzes, relaying that information so that way, you know, people are aware of it for crossers or anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
I would say maybe average salary, maybe 16 million. What's the highest?
16. The highest one is at 14.2, Jason Kelce for the Eagles.
14.
Yeah, the guy they had to pay him a bunch of money and give him kegs of beer to, you know, stop considering retirement. They blew him away at $14 million.
You know, people talk him up too. Like, I mean, as they should. He's probably the best center right now. But 14.
Yeah.
For the 14. Glue of your O-line and maybe arguably your entire offense.
Yep. Number 2 is Frank Ragnow from Detroit at $13.5 million. What's kind of funny to me is about all the teams that all the positions we're going to talk about right now, they're the only positions, including running back, that don't have a single player making $20 million a year. Every other position in the NFL has at least one guard, left tackle, right tackle, inside backer. These positions are the only ones outside of special teams that don't have a single player making $20 million a year.
Damn, so center is really just the ugly stepchild of the O-line.
Apparently, which is, again, so weird when you consider it's such an important position. You would think it'd be like for offensive line, it'd have to go like left tackle, center, right tackle, then maybe guard. There are more guards making $20 million than there are. I mean, there's none making $20 million at center. So, I mean,
dude, do you think there's a way? Do you think there's a chance of someone to reset that market? Like, who's even there?
My guess would probably be Creed Humphrey. I think Creed Humphrey. I mean, he's vital to that Chiefs offense and the offensive line. He helps keep Patrick Mahomes clean. He should probably help come in, and if he sits out and does the position friendly thing, you know, I would expect him to come in at 16. If the Chiefs are really good and nice about it, 17 million. But we'll see. I mean, they're paying their quarterback at this rate a bargain, considering what everyone else is making.
Which is,
I think it's only right that you pay your center.
Yeah.
But so the highest paid centers are Jason Kelce and Frank Ragnow. It's one of the most important positions. They get the rest of the O-line set with their assignments. The second one, again, both the Kelce brothers. So maybe that's why they had to start a podcast, because they're so underpaid. Tight end. Like, all right,
that was golden, bro.
we're not going to pay you money, but here's a podcast, and we'll start you out with 50,000 subscribers. All right,
Yeah,
we'll
for real.
promote your stuff.
Who
Until you
needs
click on,
who needs a new contract? We have brand
yeah,
deals. Come on,
yeah.
come
Like
on.
we'll give you ad money. Don't worry. We'll put all your stuff on the NFL website, so you get more content. Don't worry. But this time we'll pay you suddenly. Yeah, Darren Waller,
Wow.
17 million, leads the pack. George Kittle, 15 million. Travis Kelce is down there at 14.3, making about the same amount as his brother. So they're just really, really fucking over the Kelce brothers here. Let's say, oh, you're from
What?
Cincinnati. 14 is what you're worth. Don't ask for more, please.
Kelsey's not even making 20?
No,
What the hell? What?
he's been. Well, let's say this. These are the tight ends of the last 7 Super Bowl champions, the last 7 teams that win the Super Bowl. Kelce, Gronk, Zach Ertz, and Tyler Higbee. So, I mean, all those are great tight ends, except maybe Tyler Higbee, who's just a good tight end. So clearly you need a great tight end quarterback combo to make it and win the Super Bowl. So you would think the position gets paid more. Like they can be your left tackle, they could be your wide receiver 1, yet they make less than both.
Dude, that is wild. You know what Travis Kelce is to that Chiefs offense? He's basically wide receiver 1 for him as a tight end. To your point, an extra tackle.
Yep.
What
He's like George Kittle's an extra tackle for the 49ers. Like he helps in that run game so much. Like I don't remember what the numbers were, but they're pointing out the substantial difference in between when George Kittle's on the field and they run the ball versus when he's not. I mean, again, the Chiefs obviously felt comfortable enough letting Tyreek Hill go to a different team because they still had Travis Kelce. Yes. They don't have a wide receiver last year. They don't have a wide receiver 1 this upcoming year. Travis Kelce is their wide receiver 1. Yeah, he makes less than almost half of what the average is for a wide receiver 1 in the NFL.
Bro, if you're a tight ends right now, why don't you just lose 40 pounds and go become a wide receiver, get more money? Like, Jesus, what?
Seriously, I don't understand. Like, you would think that'd be one of those positions where, yeah, like they're making 20 to 23 million. That makes complete sense for that. Not even. I mean, again,
wow.
One of the, what's widely considered the best in the NFL, Travis Kelce, 14.3. He makes less than Derrick Henry. He makes less than Christian McCaffrey. I mean, there's some things in the NFL that I really don't understand, but this has got to be one of the biggest ones. Is the fact that your center and tight ends, both on the offensive side of the ball, both helping the pass game, are this underpaid. Now let's flip it to the defensive side. Safeties. You would think this would be another important position, especially as offenses are now attacking down the field more. We want big arm quarterbacks. You want these 50, 60-yard bombs. You would think these guys would be thriving because they're the guys you have to take this away when your number 1 corner gets fucking burnt again.
Right.
This is the guy that makes you right. He's your ball hawking safeties. Derwin James coming in at 19 million. Fitzpatrick comes in at 18-4, and Adams, who signed his contract a couple years ago now, at 17.6.
So it's a little bit there, but still not.
It's a little bit closer, but again, considering what the importance, like the Ed Reeds, the Palomalus, and all the other Hall of Famers, and I mean guys that just kind of inspired you to play football back in the day.
Yeah,
you would think this position would be getting paid more than it does. It doesn't. Teams feel much more comfortable going with a corner to cover the number 1 guy and just hey, that's our island, that's who we trust, versus having a guy over top as a safety net.
Yeah. And they're really the brains of like the back end. Wait, pause. That's a weird way to say it. But they're the brain of the secondary.
The brains of the ass.
They're the brains of the back end. Okay. They're the ones, calling things out, for formation, personnel, changing coverage, what they see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, dude. At least some of them are getting paid.
Those people are getting paid. It's not as bad as like center. Like center's the worst. Like that one. I mean, it really took me aback how badly that one is.
Yeah, especially the rest of the O-line's getting paid.
Yeah, I think what's going on with the safety position primarily is that more dudes want to be corners than they do want to be safeties. They want that one-on-one matchup. They know the money's there. That's just where they want to be. And I think that's just kind of led to a decrease in talent at the position. I mean, you have great players like in the Derwin Jameses and the Fitzpatricks, but there just really aren't any more Brian Dawkins, Ed Reeds, Troy Polamalu's. Polamalu, God damn it, Pat
Polamalu. I know I can't even say his last name anymore. But to Emmett, to your point too about why some DBs want to play corner more than safety. I mean, I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this, but I used to play DB, so I understand their like mindset. Most DBs don't want to hit. When you're playing safety,
Yeah,
You gotta come down that like alley.
that was my favorite receiver. I was like, oh, cool. Give me a. I don't know why this never happened. When I was playing receiver, I was like, why am I having to block for the screen? Just give me the ball. The corner's not going to want to tackle me.
Exactly.
What are we doing here? Yeah, whatever.
And on the flip side, the great ones do, but a lot of them don't.
Yeah. So again, maybe that plays into it as well. But there's just not guys like, the Ed Reeds and the Dawkins and the Palomlus, like they used to just like change it. Peyton Manning used to have fits with Ed Reed. I mean, there's that great clip where he'd been watching something all season about Ed Reed turns his hips to the right and he knows that seam's open on the left. And Ed Reed had been setting him up for weeks to think that, intentionally doing that, knowing he was going to watch it. And the minute he did it and he saw Payne was going to release, quickly flipped his hips and went and made that pick.
Yes.
There's just not guys that do that kind of thing anymore in the NFL.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't seem like it.
I feel like those guys have like freedom to do that too. I mean, I feel like now that, unless you're like, a future Hall of Famer, like a Ed Reed or like a Troy, they're like, dude, listen to my play call. Stand there, stand at your mark, get your mark, and do nothing else. Yeah. This is gonna be another weird tangent, but every time you say Ed Reed, I think of that clip of I think it was the Pro Bowl where he like laid out like a punter or something?
Oh, it wasn't Ed Reed. That was Sean Taylor.
Was it? Was it Sean Taylor? Oh, dude, sorry, Ed. That stuff.
Fucking knocking him out of his shoes.
I think my dumb brain is mixing stuff up. But there's another clip with Ed Reed where I think he tried blocking a punt and he missed it, or he got held or something. He was yelling at the referee as he was running by, and then he like blindsided someone down like the field.
Oh.
Was that? I think it was against the Colts. I think maybe.
I think it was. My favorite clip from it was Brian, not Baldinger. Oh my gosh, who was the old Ravens coach? Brian.
I can see his face.
Too many Brians. Anyway, so we know what we're talking about. Former Ravens head coach, great dude. He's on the I think he's on NFL Network now. But back when he was coaching the Ravens, and Ed Reed like picked a ball off in the end zone, he's like, go down, fuck, go down. And then Ed Reed takes it out of the end zone. He's like, no, what are you doing? No. And then Ed Reed breaks and he's going. And he's like, no one around him. He's like, 34 yards. Go ahead. Go. Just the complete rush of emotions of, oh, fuck, what are you doing? Yeah, that's what I wanted you to do the whole time. Shit.
Dude.
There's just not guys that do that anymore. They're really...
And now,
there really is. I mean, maybe at this point, and I think we're going to have one inspiring one that we might be watching, Hufanga. And I know it sounds like, oh, Emmett, you're a 49ers fan. Of course you guys. Hufanga did some things last year when you were watching. You're like, okay, that's Hall of Fame. Like, he wasn't told to do that. He was just doing that from film study.
Yeah, he's good.
He might be one that we see that might bring back this era of great safeties, but we'll see what happens with it. He needs to stack more good years.
Yeah, dude. And now that I made the mistake of thinking it was Ed Reed and not Sean Taylor, it made me think, like, dude, we missed out on Sean Taylor's greatness, bro. I'm still so pissed about that, man.
Yeah, just if you go back and watch the highlights of Sean Taylor, oh my, that used to make you want to go play football.
Yes, that dude was a fucking monster, bro. That's tough.
Them days at the U, where I imagine being at a practice with the U back in the day, when you had like the Sean Taylors and the Ray Lewises and the Vince Wilforks and for the Frank, all those guys. Yeah. That must have been an intense practice to attend.
Yeah.
Just you think you're like a 5-star recruit. You're like, I just killed that at my high school. I had 4,000 rushing yards and 50 picks. You step on the campus and you're like, I can't play at this level.
I'm about to transfer out.
And hello, Southern Mississippi.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
But a whole team of future Hall of Famers.
I'll get off my soapbox about the great safeties, but man, that's fucking
awesome, you're good. Bro. Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of weird to me how all the money gets thrown at average quarterbacks and all the money gets thrown at receivers, which if you really want to make a case for a replaceable position, it really does feel like receiver is much more replaceable than any other position. Every year we hear 4 or 5 great receivers that come out that are so like, I know it's just such a rich talent position. You would think that it would be devalued rather than an increase in value that we've seen. And more of these positions where you don't have as much talent, the top ones would be paid a lot more. And it's just not what's happening. Very odd to see. Hopefully we will see a change in the future and some of these guys will finally get paid the money they're due. But who knows? It's the NFL, and they're gonna try to save and pinch pennies any way they can.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it going here. There's a lot of the mid tier quarterback hate is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott's, the Ryan Tannehills, the Jimmy Garoppolo's. It feels like they just get the Kirk Cousins even.
Yeah.
They feel like they just get so much more hate than they used to. They used to just be like, oh, yeah, we got a good quarterback. We need to build the team around him. Now it's they are not good. They're trash. We need someone better. What are you seeing, Bean? What are your thoughts about it? Why are these mid-tier quarterbacks getting so much more hate than they used to?
Dude, I can't even tell you. I feel like just overall there's a feeling within just the football space that, like, if you're a quarterback that just can't win a ring by yourself, you just suck. Like, if you're not Superman out there, just get off the fucking field. That's what people pretty much like feel like sometimes. But let me just speak about Dak, because I feel like I just scroll through Twitter and I just see roast after roast after roast, attack after attack after attack on Dak, and I really don't know why. Maybe it's because he plays for the Cowboys and just hate on the Cowboys is like the mainstream thing now. Like, it's just easy to do and people think it's fun. Whatever, it's cool. Whatever. I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I'm not gonna die on that hill. But like, I really don't give a shit. Yeah. But when Dak is healthy, I think he can be around, like, I mean, when I say top 10, maybe like 8, 9, 10 rank, maybe spot, maybe. I mean, back in 2019, I have some numbers here. Back in 2019, he was second in overall passing. He threw for, let's call it 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, completed 65% of his passes. Solid, 2021, he was seventh in passing. And I mean, I guess you could say the one knock on him for the past, let's call it 3 seasons, he's been more injured than active, right? In 2020, he only played 5 games. He had that awful ankle break, I think it was. It was awful. Dude. His foot was like flipping, like it was awful. In 2022, he played 12 games, so not as bad. But dude, I don't know, man. I mean, even 2016, he was offensive rookie of the year. I didn't even realize it until we were looking up data for a previous segment. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like I can go on and on about it. I just hate how, as you know, a lot of fans call NFL players trash or they suck. And it's like, dude, you realize how hard it is to be an NFL player, and you're saying that dude sucks? Like, do you even know how hard it is to play college ball out of high school? Like, the percentage of, like, not even like considering D1, but let's just say D3, right? In total, what, 6 to 7% of athletes from high school play even like college football at any level.
Yep.
And then 0.1% of that, sample go on to play at the pro level. Like, come on, dude. To say a guy like Dak or Kirk Cousins sucks because he can't carry a team all by himself to the Super Bowl is, I don't know, it's wild. And it's honestly stupid, but I'll get off my soapbox. What do you think about it, bro?
Yeah, you're good. I think there's a lot of good, not great guys. I mean, it's the Tannehills, the Cousins, the Jared Goffs, the Daks. For me, Dak is like a 10-11 kind of guy. He's great. He's not doing anything special out there. Jimmy G, Derek Carr, another kind of guys that round up that kind of range that I'm talking about. They're gonna make bad plays every once in a while. Plays where you're like, what the are you doing, dude? Like, what? Why would you? How are you not seeing this? How are you gonna throw that pick? Like, I saw there was one for Dak where I think it was 7-on-7 period, and he threw the ball, hit the receiver right in the hands, bounced off, and went right to the DB, and everyone's like, oh, here comes another season of picks. It's like,
that's
what
a perfect example. Yes.
The ball?
Like, he can't, and that's happened sometimes last season too. I know he came out and said he's gonna throw less picks this year, but I feel like half his picks last season was because motherfuckers just dropping the ball. It's like, he can't do everything. No. I don't know.
I think it's people just get so acclimated and assume that every player plays the same way every day. Like it's a Madden simulation. Like they go, oh, this guy's an 80 overall. He should play like an 80 overall every time I turn this game on. It's like, that's not how it works. These guys are all people. Sometimes they have great days where they're throwing for 4 touchdowns and 500 yards and no picks. And the days they look like shit. They throw 170 yards and 3 picks. And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, it's the nuances of the game. Everything is a little bit different every week to week. But people just sit here and compare them to like the Mahomes and the Burrows and the Allens and the Rodgers. Those are 4 dudes out of 32. What? I mean, that's why they're the top 4 quarterbacks, like, or top 5 quarterbacks. It's because they can do things that everyone else can't, and they're so rare to come by. Everyone just doesn't get one. So you're not going to have that. So you need to take these good to great quarterbacks and build around them. I think part of the problem also becomes with these guys and the way that quarterback money has gotten is you're paying so much money to these guys that you expect them to play like they're a top 5 guy. Because when you pay Dak Prescott $45 million a year, I'm going to lose my wide receiver too. I'm going to lose my running back. I'm going to lose my starting tight. Like I'm going to lose these other guys because I'm paying him so much. I expect him to be better, to have equal value as if,
Right,
he can make all
the impact needs to be greater since you lose other assets for sure. Yeah,
he should be good enough to make up for that impact.
Yeah,
and these guys just aren't that. So maybe if we see these quarterback salaries start to come down a little bit and be comparable to what the talent actually is, maybe we'll see less hate for it. But I mean, again, I saw as a 49ers fan, I saw with Jimmy G all the time where people were like at his throat every single game, preseason practices. OTA practice. It was like, what? Like, he threw 5 picks today. It's like, it's practice. Thank God everyone else's practice isn't fucking recorded, because I can't imagine how many bad games or bad practices I would have had and just gotten ripped on Twitter for.
God,
yeah. I think we all have that, right? You have a bad practice, you're like, I don't want to fucking watch this tape because I know the coach is going to chew my ass out. And now people are using it as a standard whether he's a good quarterback or not. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to stand on a soapbox for Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a,
but
15.
You can win with him.
Right. I mean, he's just absolutely with him. He's going to make enough plays for you to win the game. Like, he's going to hit the check down. He's going to put it in the right place. He's going to get you that first down. He's going to attack the middle of the field in the way it needs to be attacked to help get you to a win. He's going to help you score points. He's not going to make spectacular, unbelievable plays like Mahomes or Burrow or Allen do. That's just not who he is.
Yeah.
He's a good enough quarterback. And people, I saw some Raiders fans actually depressed that they got him. And it's like, why? I mean, he's cheaper than Derek Carr, but I think it was like $10 million a year, and gives you comparable talent. Like, this is a win for you. Like, this, you can now hold on to more players because you're paying Jimmy Garoppolo this versus Derek Carr's that.
Yeah.
For comparable talent.
Yeah.
So I just think people have these weird expectations with quarterbacks, and especially when you're paying them a lot, to sit here and think that, like he should be doing the same things.
I think too, I think Mahomes is like the new like measuring stick. And it's like, do people realize that Mahomes is a future Hall of Famer already and he's 26?
Yeah.
Like,
I think there needs to be
he's one of one. He's one of one, bro. Like,
yeah,
he can take over a game all by himself. He's one of one,
Yeah.
And I just think it's also a team sport. A quarterback can't do everything all by himself.
No.
Like, I full on believe, and I'll probably get ripped for this, but I think you can win a title with a Kirk Cousins, a Dak. I can't think who else is in that. Like, I mean, Jimmy G brought him there. I mean, sure they lost to Mahomes, but at least he got him there. I think you can win with all those guys. Although you can't. I don't expect them to win a game all by themselves. And people think, since you can't take over a game by yourself, you suck. It's like, you need other assets around him, dude. Like, what would Patrick be without a Tyreek Hill or a Kelsey or even Andy Reid, who's an unspoken hero of that entire program?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many factors to it is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know.
His development, allowing him. Like he was mentioning the other day, Patrick Mahomes was mentioning the other day, having Andy Reid as a coach has been the best thing for his career. He might not have the same career if he had any other coach, because Andy Reid just allows him to be him and play the quarterback position way that he wants to play it.
Yes.
which allows Patrick Mahomes to make these special plays. And I think it's a slogan we've kind of said with Patrick a couple times now, and I think we should just make it to a goddamn shirt at this point. He's the exception to the rule, not the standard.
Yes.
Like you can't look at anything he does and goes, well, why can't my court? Nothing, not a thing. This man is on the quarterback show. He bought an Airbnb for Arizona 3 months before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he just fucking knows.
Yeah, there's no other quarterback that can do that. Again, this man is an exception to every rule. You can win a Super Bowl with paying him a lot of money. You can win a Super Bowl without a wide receiver one. You can win a Super Bowl with a bad defense, without a run game. He breaks every rule because of the talent him and Andy Reid have together. So I just don't think it's realistic to sit here and look at these kind of things and go, well, why can't our quarterback do that? It's not going to happen. Yes. Sometimes you just got to be happy with having a winning team and being relevant. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Only one team wins the Super Bowl every single freaking year. So you're not in quarterback purgatory because you have a good to great quarterback. It's not how it works.
Right.
And again, I think it makes the problem a little bit better if quarterbacks get paid what they should get paid instead of what they are getting paid. Like for example, if oh my gosh, Daniel Jones was getting 25 or 30 million a year, it looks much better for the Giants than he's making 40 million a year, because then you could pay Saquon or some other guys that you need to. But it is what it is. That's the market right now. Hopefully it cools down and gets back to a reasonable price tag for that. Mm-hmm. We'll see for that.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get into what I think I've been looking for. I think we've both been kind of looking most forward to. Should J.J. McCarthy be getting more Heisman consideration than he currently is? In a short answer, no. In a longer answer, no. What's that? No, I'm just kidding. We are going to sit here and we're going to break down some J.J. McCarthy film. We're going to do this live for you guys. We have not watched his highlight tape. We've only watched a couple of his games this past season because you're an Ohio State fan. Obviously, he made they made the playoffs, right? I remember that correctly.
Yeah, they made it. They won the Big Ten, and I think they're second.
Yes. Yeah. They played against TCU. That's what it was. So we obviously watched a little bit of their game, but now we're going to be able to take some time, hit the rewind. We're going to share our screen and pull up these highlights.
This is the first time doing this live, guys, so be kind to us as we figure out this tech stuff, okay?
Be kind, be patient with us, please. This should be fun. We got the sound turned off on this. All right, let's start this off. We got a little Colorado State versus Michigan highlights here.
The good old Rams.
All right, here. Got some wheels. He's a former lacrosse player, right?
Yeah, he's a sneaky good athlete.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see it against a team that's not Hawaii or Colorado State.
Okay,
decent ball, wide open guy.
There we go.
A lot of play action usage. But again, obviously Michigan runs the ball a lot, so it makes sense.
Yeah, they run more of a. I mean, it's still I think it's still considered spread, maybe. I mean, you're more the offensive guy than me, but they run a little bit more pro style stuff too out of it.
Yeah, it's a pro style offense. So just kind of quick initial thoughts from this. A lot of these highlights so far seem to be him running. Not really a great start for a quarterback highlight tape. A couple good deep balls, some wide open shots, a lot of play action usage to help ease the reads for him. See what we got here. No, there's a good ball.
Yeah, that was decent, like footwork too, right? Decent.
What was that?
I said that was decent, like footwork too. I like that.
Yeah, clean pocket, throw from, great catch. That's the running back, Donovan Edwards, isn't it?
Is it 7? Yeah,
7.
Edwards is a beast.
Yeah. He's exciting to watch.
I know a lot of Ohio State fans see him as fucking nightmares.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do. Go too easy. Way to get on the corner. That's against UConn. Did Michigan play anyone this year?
I hate when these people make. I'm pretty sure this is going this like order of the schedule. Like it's not going at like context of teams. It's just literally going week 1, week 2, week 3.
Yeah, there's a decent ball there. Okay. Oh my God.
Got a little flood concept there.
Yeah, flood concept here. For those that don't know, that means you got a go route right here. Usually 12 to 15 yard out route right here. Running back comes out to the flats, puts pressure on the safeties and corners. Makes a very simple read. See? He comes down to get the flat. He's too high. He's bailing with this. Nice open spot right here near the numbers. No pressure. Easy. There you go.
Yeah, can throw on the run around. Okay. Nice.
That was a 3 vert, it looked like.
When they're just eating them up, defensive man coverage here.
Yeah,
It's
awful
easy.
route by the top. You cannot look at. I'm sorry. Look at this. I know we're supposed to be watching him, but look at this route up top. You cannot go inside on a go route, dude. It's
Man,
3
what the hell
verts.
is he
You get
doing?
crosser. This is coming across the field again. Very easy read.
That just creates awful spacing.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't three verts because that looked like a 15-yard in. So a lot of deep ball running of the quarterback stuff here.
I didn't realize Michigan receivers had that much like space. Like they got like burners on them.
I'm gonna right now chop that up to great offense coordinator play because again, I mean, if you look as we're seeing a lot of these highlights, it's all play action, which is not again that's common in the NFL. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh, see, that's just because of the Michigan thing. But I mean, watch how much these teams are having to commit to stop the run. Let's get back to Indiana. Watch these linebackers here, just sucked up. I mean, there's not even a thought for these guys that this is a pass play at all.
Yeah, that's true.
And look at the tight end sneak out. I mean, we can make this throw.
Yeah, the tight end's wide open, the back end right there. I mean, he's not even going. He's going to toss it to him, or he's going to toss it to that?
It's probably the receiver
right
over here.
Yeah,
down.
Yeah, they're both wide open. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it's a testament to how great Michigan runs the ball. But I mean, these teams aren't even.
Got some scramble here.
Another scramble. Okay, good enough. He runs his life.
There you go.
Way to bail out of the pocket.
That was good. Yeah, I mean the yak on that was crazy.
Okay, again, we got here Penn State. Okay, here you go. Here's a legit defense here. Holy crap! I mean, sorry, I hate to wind it so far. Watch this. Watch these linebackers. Not even considering for a second to drop back into coverage.
Yeah, which is you mind playing that back real quick too?
Yeah,
just a quick half second.
Oh, that was too far. I was just trying to use the arrow keys there. That didn't work out.
You're good, bro. I was just trying to put my backer hat on, and I know this is a JJ segment, but usually, I mean, they could be teaching the backers to read that mesh point, but I mean, I used to just read tackle or guard, and nothing from the guards for sure. They're telling me run, like they're popping up straight up, dude. That's a high hat. That's pass all the damn way.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think what Michigan's doing a great job here is looks like they're pulling their guard. The left guard, they're pulling.
I didn't see that. Yeah,
but I mean, again,
that's fair.
I can see and say, okay, this. So what was that number 40, 42? Okay, you're responsible for back, right? So I get that. This guy should be scraping over top for quarterback case for a mesh. What are you doing? Like, you should at least be looking for a pass. I mean,
yeah.
If it's a full on just read. I'm sorry. Oh my God, what's the term I'm thinking of here? An option play. Like, you're not making a play on this at all. So why are you sitting here committing this hard to coming up?
Well, if it's, I didn't notice the guard pulling at first, but that's really a good point. First, you get guard pull, and then you're reading through the guard to that fullback back there, the tight end playing fullback. Yeah. He's hard down. So you're. I mean, I would think run too. I mean, you would at least have to honor it. You know what I mean? And then as soon as you see pass, you got to put your foot in the ground and scream back, bro. Like, you got to sprint because right there, the tight end crosser. Like,
yeah, this man's in a frenzy right now. He doesn't know what the hell to do.
And the backer still. So then, I mean, maybe that sucked so far in. They're like, fuck it, bro. Like, I'm just gonna go after the quarterback at this point. But
I know.
Yeah.
Well, again, my favorite is this. This is the corner 7, right? Seen that right?
Where's that?
What the fuck are you covering?
Oh, 7 right there. Yeah,
there's no back flaring out to your end. Who the fuck are you covering, dude?
Dude,
Jesus,
he doesn't know what's going on.
Way to keep the eyes downfield for him. So he loves throwing the deep shot. Obviously, it looks like he's got a pretty good deep ball. He's kind of remind me a little bit of Bo Nix, actually.
Yeah,
I think Bo might be a little faster.
Yeah, I think Bo's probably more of a natural athlete, as a little bit, but McCarthy's not bad though. I mean, you can keep a defense honest with him. I mean, they're running them.
Here's the thing for me right now from watching this. It's hard for me to say he's not bad.
No,
it's hard for me to say whether he's bad or good. I mean, I should say because everything. Look at that quarterback power. Or I'm sorry, quarterback draw. It's all designed to be easy for the quarterback. They're not we see a great play here from them asking him to drop back and just play quarterback. But a lot of the highlights here are all out of RP, and even that he runs, and he looked like he ran out of a clean pocket.
Was it a draw?
No, like this is just a straight up pass play. Look at the way he sets up. That's a pass play.
Yeah, people are actually running routes. I didn't see that either.
I mean, clean pocket, clean pocket, clean pocket. Where are you going, dude?
Maybe
what are you doing?
Maybe he was thinking it's just fourth down, and he was like, "Screw it, I'm just gonna run."
Yes, but why not get it out to your back here?
Yeah.
Look how much space he is to work with.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna go 1-on-1 with the middle backer. Now, granted, Michigan State backer misses him. Thank God. But I mean, why? I think again, that's what we're talking about. The difference between what makes quarterback levels. It's that little bit of nuance, knowing that you just need to slide, step up. Let me just hit my check down to the running back. There's no one around him. He can pick that 3 yards up. He can take the hit. That's what he's for. Again, another play action. Too fucking easy, dude. Again, it's so hard to see and get a good evaluation of him because everything is just play action.
Yeah.
Good pocket presence there. Way to feel the pressure.
Good move.
Good move.
Good ball.
Damn, Edwards is good.
Edwards is good. He's gonna be like a top 20 pick, I think, next year.
Yeah. Who we got here? Cover 7, it looked like. All goal line.
Yeah, it's just straight. I mean, I don't know if it's really covered. It's basically covered 1 or 0, but
good ball. I like that ball placement. High.
Nice.
Over the way to layer the throw there. Love that one. Okay. Hole shot. Beautiful. What is that? It looks like cover 2.
Cover 2, it looks like.
Hole shot. So watch up here as the corner's sitting in the flat. Safety's kind of going over here with this seam. Way to see it. Way to feel it. Right in the hole. Corner can't make a play. They're too quick for the safety to get there. That's exactly where that ball needs to be. Any further upfield or downfield, that's a pick. Okay, so there's clearly some potential here.
Oh, here we go.
I am PTSD now?
Oh, man.
Wide open. Oh, okay. Yeah, wow.
You want to see a clinic of receivers just beating guys on double moves and DBs missing tackles. Here we go.
I am curious to see this. What we got here? Oh, is this some? Oh, it's a cover 0 blitz. It looked like.
Yeah, they for some reason Knowles just ran cover 0 in this game. I don't know why.
He must have not thought too highly of Michigan's receivers then.
Or yeah,
or thought, man, we can
the pass rush. Yeah.
Yeah, or thought, well, I mean, if you're confident in your pass rush, you're usually not calling a whole lot of 0 blitzes.
That's true.
So it usually means 1 or 2 things. Like A, you don't think their receivers can beat press man, so you're going to get home on your blitz. Or B, you think you can frazzle the quarterback enough to where you can make him make a mistake. Which as a sophomore quarterback, I can see that thought process there. Mm-hmm. He bails out back enough just to. Wow.
Yeah. And this and now it's just awful. I think next play you see like a double move. What's his number 6, I think? Mm-hmm. He ran a nasty route on the safety, broke his ankle. Like, this is the play right here. Yeah. Play it. Yeah, dude. I've been in 13th spot before, and it's not fun. Not fun.
I can't even see because of the camera.
I think it was a corner post, and it was just not good, dude.
Another option play. Okay, big boy run. So again, as we can see, he's got a great deep ball. He's athletic enough to take off as he needs to. Ooh, don't want to be taking that hit in the NFL.
I think to your earlier point, Emmett, I think he's a very balanced quarterback. Maybe he's not top 5 in most people's eyes right now because he doesn't really have any special qualities, I say. Like, nothing really stands out with this game, but he's a very balanced quarterback in my own opinion. Like, I think he does everything well, but he just, I don't know if we want to call it like the X factor or the it factor or whatever. But nothing really pops for me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
yeah, I think so. To put it in more of a football technical term, so he throws a great deep ball. He's athletic enough to get out the pocket. He's athletic enough to take off running. Clearly, they felt comfortable with him running. What we seem to be missing, at least from these highlights, is the nuance of the game. We've seen a couple times where he's bailing too soon, or he's taking off running before the pressure's really getting to like a threatening point, and he needs to work on that feel for the pocket. He needs to understand he doesn't always need to take off and run. Protect yourself from getting hits. You can't dump it off to your running back, because you're gonna save yourself from taking unnecessary hits and potentially getting injured by doing smart little plays like that. Again, these are the highlights. So these are supposed to be the best of his plays. So this is what we're having to go off of. And it looks like a lot of the times Michigan is working to protect him with the run, with the play action. They're making it very simple for him. And they clearly have such a great run game that these backers are just getting sucked up to where it's easy reads for him. He can keep his eyes downfield because there's no one around him for fucking 10 yards, and he can press it downfield if he needs to. And he throws a great deep ball, as we've kind of noted. This one's going to be impressive, though. Watch at the top. You see it's a go route. You see it's clearly not open. So what does he do? You back shoulder. He's throwing it right at the back of this guy's helmet right here, so we can go up and make a play on it. Boop. Pick it out of the air.
That's a pretty ball.
Yeah, so that's exactly where he needs to be. Now, as he gets better and understands the nuance of the game better, you'll be seeing more things like that where he can just drop back and make those kind of plays and reads as he needs to. I also wouldn't mind seeing him setting up some guys on Yak a little bit more on the short game stuff. Kind of like we talked about with Bo Nix. A lot of his highlights were all 40, 50-yard down the field throws. I'm not seeing a whole lot of, he hit a slant and then turned into a big play, or he hit a, whatever. So I'd love to see him work on that little nuance of the game. There's a little bit better pocket presence. Great fucking ball. And that's not an ad for us. So
I think he's solid. I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on what you think his round, grade would be. I personally don't think he will be declaring after this year unless he gets that Heisman type year, because preseason rankings have him. Well, I don't remember what he was ranked at PFF. It wasn't high though. It wasn't top 5 or anything like that. But which makes sense. I'm curious though, if he did declare for the draft, what round range do you think he gets picked?
Based on what we just currently watched, I would give him probably somewhere in the 3rd round range. Okay. Because you see there's potential upside in there. I mean, the deep ball is really what seems to be the highlight thing for me of his throwing abilities. He's got a good arm. Again, it's almost like a little bit of like the Sam Hartman. He's got a good arm. It's not a rocket arm. I'd say Bo Nix probably has a stronger arm than him, and Bo Nix is a little more athletic. That's why I put Bo as a currently like end of the 1st round kind of prospect. But if he can work on those nuances of the game, he could easily become a 2nd or end of 1st round pick. I'm not sure he's ever going to be in consideration as like a top 5 draftable quarterback. Even if he gets into the Heisman conversation, I think that would be a mistake by a team. But he can do a lot of good things. I'm not sure, like his speed, I just don't think will translate too well to the NFL. He's not really, once he started playing against like the Purdue's, the Penn States, the Michigan States, the runs started becoming a little bit less. There was a lot less breakaway runs as versus Hawaii and Colorado State, because obviously there's a talent level difference there. So again, I think the highlights definitely is the deep ball accuracy. A lot of balls that were just right in the basket. I think that's impressive for me. I think we need to see a little bit less of him running, staying in the pocket a little bit more, and hitting his checkdowns as he needs to instead of taking off, just protecting his body. So that's why I put him as a 3rd round grade, because he's still got a lot of growth he can make. And if he can make that growth, I think it'd be really exciting. But I don't think his ceiling is as high as like a Bo Nix or like, the Caleb Williams, Drake Mays kind of thing that are coming into the draft next year. Yeah. It probably would benefit him to spend another 2 years at Michigan, because if next year you have all those guys like the Penix and the Calebs and the Drakes, after that, I don't know what the quarterback field's looking like, but it might be weaker enough to where he could be in the top 15 conversation for a team, because there's just not as much quarterback talent in that draft. So the 2025 draft would probably be, if I were him, where I would want to go.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's probably what he probably thinks right now too, and his camp is telling him to stay another 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, again, he came in there as a lacrosse scholarship, right? I think, and then the football was kind of a secondary thing, if I remember seeing that story during the season.
Yeah, maybe. I remember him being, I think he's a 5-star guy for football. He actually went to a high school out in the suburbs here. Close where I live. Yeah. My brother's high school team actually played them in the state playoffs. Not in state. I think it was like the 3rd round. And dude, JJ just torched him, bro. Like he wasn't real doing high school. Yeah, you can just tell. It's funny watching high school ball. When you see a 5-star athlete against like other, I don't want to say average high school talent, but this regular high school talent, you can see it's a night and day difference. I think he went to IMG his senior year because of COVID and stuff like that. So
See, again, that kind of makes sense because as we saw against like the Colorado States and the Hawaiis, he was still able to take off and do a lot of things with his legs where you're watching thinking, oh, okay, this guy can run. And then when it got to Michigan State and it got to Penn State and everything like that, it was a little bit less of, oh, okay, maybe he needs to be getting down more. He needs to protect himself more. Or it was more like quarterback power rather than quarterback draws. So it'd be interesting to see what his development is this year. He seems like he's still a very, very raw talent to me. They're having to use a lot of the play action to help protect him and set him up, giving them easy reads, the flood concepts, as we kind of saw that, where it's, hey, yeah, there's no one around you. So if you want to see if you can take that seam shot, go ahead and do it. But if not, you still have this 15-yard, out route that's wide open. So, be interesting to see how this year goes for him. But I'm excited to watch. I know a lot of people are. I know Michigan fans are really excited to see.
He's
but
awesome.
That, again, if you were going to the draft right now, I would say at best 3rd round pick. I wouldn't touch him with a 1st or a 2nd because you're setting yourself up for some potential failure there.
Yeah.
Think a la like maybe a Malik Willis kind of thing.
And this is kind of hard to quantify too. And like in terms of like metrics, I guess you can look at the wins, but he knows how to win. I mean, when he went to, Michigan, they made the playoffs the past 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. I think he made it his freshman year because I think they won the Big Ten. Yeah, I think so. I think
last year was the last year they really beat. I thought it was the whole big thing is they beat Ohio State last year, and that was the big deal.
They beat them two years in a row.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. Maybe they didn't make the playoffs of his freshman season. Maybe because they lost another game during the season. I don't remember. That's besides the point, though. Yeah, it's beside the point.
That's just my take on it. It's from obviously you guys watched it with us and saw what we saw. The highlight tape was a whole lot of him throwing it deep and taking off running. So and when we watched the Sam Hartman kind of tape, it was more of there's a couple good throws down the field, but it was mostly in that short 15 to 20 yard range where he was just setting guys up with great yak potential. And I think that's the difference of the nuance of the position where Sam Hartman had 40 starts or something like that under his belt versus I think J.J. McCarthy has 12. Yeah. So that's something hopefully he learns throughout this year, and maybe towards the end of the year we'll see that kind of jump in him where he's setting up, he's hitting the check downs much better. Michigan's taking off for 30 points a game averaging because he's hitting all the right throws when he needs to hit them.
Yeah.
So
and those of you playing trivia, Michigan did make the playoffs back in the 2021-2022 season. They played Georgia. And they lost by 23, but yeah. So, I mean, they've been winning. He knows how to win. I think he's a balanced quarterback. He's not really hardcore, I don't know, explanation like how you gave. You gave a great breakdown. But, yeah, I definitely agree. I think a 3rd round grade for him is fair.
Yeah. Again, that can definitely that's just right now. Again, that can change going into, after next year.
Yeah.
If he works on what we kind of talked about where he's got a much better pocket presence. He's moving around the pocket instead of trying to bail and run. He's hitting the checkdowns as he needs to, setting guys up for great yak. He can definitely be elevated to that high 2nd, low 1st round range.
Yeah.
Again, I would be very surprised if he ever got to a top 10 pick. I think that'd be probably a mistake by the team, but we'll see. He can win people over with his charm and across the talent. So
for sure.
All right. I think that wraps up another episode for us. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Sorry for any technical difficulties you might have had with watching that YouTube video, or for our Spotify listeners. Hopefully us just ramble about nothing was still entertaining for you. Until next time, you guys can check us out on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. It's been Emmett.